Numbers, chapter 33. These are the stages in the journey of the people of Israel as they left the land of Egypt, divided into groups under the leadership of Moshe and Aharon. Moshe recorded each of the stages of their journey by order of Adonai. Here are the starting points of each stage. They began their journey from Ramses in the first month. On the 15th day of the first month, the morning after the Pesach, the people of Israel left proudly in view of all the Egyptians, while the Egyptians were burying those among them whom Adonai had killed, all their firstborn. Adonai had also executed judgment on their gods. The people of Israel moved on from Ramses and camped at Sukkot. They moved on from Sukkot and camped at Etam, by the edge of the desert. They moved on from Etam and turned back to Pi Hacherot in front of Baal Savon, and camped before Migdol. They moved on from Panei Hacherot, passed through the sea to the desert, continued 3 days' journey into the Etam desert, and camped at Marah. They moved on from Marah and came to Elim. In Elim there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, so they camped there. They moved on from Elim and camped by the Sea of Suf. They moved on from the Sea of Suf and camped in the Sin desert. They moved on from the Sin desert and camped at Dofka. They moved on from Dofka and camped at Alush. They moved on from Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They moved on from Rephidim and camped in the Sinai desert. They moved on from the Sinai desert and camped at Kivrot Ha-Ta'ava. They moved on from Kivrot Ha-Ta'ava and camped in Hatzerot. They moved on from Hatzerot and camped at Ritma. They moved on from Ritma and camped at Ramon Peretz. They moved on from Ramon Peretz and camped at Livna. They moved on from Livna and camped at Rissa. They moved on from Rissa and camped at Kahila. They moved on from Kahila and camped at Mount Shefer. They moved on from Mount Shefer and camped at Harada. They moved on from Harada and camped at Makhilot. They moved on from Makhilot and camped at Tachat. They moved on from Tachat and camped at Terach. They moved on from Terach and camped at Mitka. They moved on from Mitka and camped at Ha-Shemona. They moved on from Ha-Shemona and camped at Moserot. They moved on from Moserot and camped at Bnei Ya'akan. They moved on from Bnei Ya'akan and camped at Hor Ha-Gidgad. Hor Ha-Gidgad. Verse 33, they moved on from Hor Ha-Gidgad and camped at Yot-Vata. They moved on from Yot-Vata and camped at Avrona. They moved on from Avrona and camped at Etzion-Gever. They moved on from Etzion-Gever and camped in the Tzin desert, that is Kadesh. They moved on from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, at the border of the land of Edom. At Adonai's order, Aharon the Kohen went up on Mount Hor, and he died there on the first day of the 5th month of the 40th year, after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt. Aharon was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. The Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, had heard that the people of Israel were coming, so they moved on from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmona. They moved on from Zalmona and camped at Punan. They moved on from Punan and camped at Ovot. They moved on from Ovot and camped at Iye Ha-Avarim, by the border of Moab. They moved on from Iyim and camped at Divon-Gad. They moved on from Divon-Gad and camped at Almon Divlatayim. They moved on from Almon Divlatayim and camped in the Avarim range in front of Navo. They moved on from the Avarim range and camped in the plains of Moab by the Yarden, across from Jericho. Their camp by the Yarden extended from Beat Ha-Yeshimot all the way to Avel Ha-Shittim in the plains of Moab. Adonai spoke to Moshe in the plains of Moab by the Yarden, across from Jericho. He said, to tell the people of Israel, when you cross the Yarden into the land of Canaan, you are to expel all the people living in the land from in front of you. Destroy all their stone figures, destroy all their metal statues, and demolish all their high places. Drive out the inhabitants of the land and live in it, for I have given the land to you to possess. You will inherit the land by lot, according to your families. You are to give more land to the larger families and less to the smaller ones. Wherever the lot falls to any particular person, that will be his property. You will inherit according to the tribes of your ancestors. But if you don't drive out the inhabitants of the land from in front of you, then those you allow to remain will become like thorns in your eyes and stings in your sides. They will harass you in the land where you are living. And in this event, I will do to you what I intended to do to them. Numbers, chapter 34. Adonai told Moshe to give this order to the people of Israel. When you enter the land of Canaan, it will become your land to possess as an inheritance, the land of Canaan as defined by these borders. Your southern border will extend from the Zin desert close to the border of Edom. The eastern terminus of your southern border is at the end of the Dead Sea. From there your border turns, goes south of the Akrabim ascent, and passes on to Tzin. From there it goes south of Kadesh Barnea, on to Hatzar Adar, and on to Atzmon. Then the border turns and goes from Atzmon to the Vadi of Egypt, and along it to the sea. Your western border will be the Great Sea. Your northern border will be as follows. From the Great Sea mark a line to Mount Hor, and from Mount Hor mark a line to the entrance of Hamat. The border goes out to Zadad. Then the border goes to Ziphron, and finally to Hatzar Enan. This is your northern border. From the eastern border mark your line from Hatzar Enan to Shapham. Then the border goes down from Shapham to Rivlah on the east side of Ayin, then down until it hits the slope east of Lake Kinneret. From there it goes down the Yarden River till it flows into the Dead Sea. These will be the borders of your land. Moshe gave this order to the people of Israel. This is the land in which you will receive inheritances by lot, which Adonai has ordered to give to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. The tribe of the descendants of Reuven have already received their land for inheritance, according to their clans, and so have the descendants of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh. These 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance on this side of the Yarden, across from Jericho and eastward toward the sunrise. Adonai said to Moshe, "These are the names of the men who will take possession of the land for you: Eleazar the Kohen and Yehoshua the son of Nun. Also appoint 1 leader from each tribe to take possession of the land. The names of these men are: from the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb the son of Yefuneh; from the tribe of the descendants of Shimon, Shemuel the son of Amihud; from the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Kislon; from the tribe of the descendants of Dan, a leader, Buki the son of Yogli; from the descendants of Yosef; from the tribe of the descendants of Manasseh, a leader, Haniel the son of Ephod; from the tribe of the descendants of Ephraim, a leader, Kemuel the son of Shiftan; from the tribe of the descendants of Zebulun, a leader, Elitzaphan the son of Parnak; from the tribe of the descendants of Issachar, a leader, Paltiel the son of Azan; from the tribe of the descendants of Asher, a leader, Achihud the son of Shlomi; from the tribe of the descendants of Naphtali, a leader, Padahel the son of Amihud. These are the ones whom Adonai ordered to divide the inheritance among the people of Israel in the land of Canaan. Numbers, chapter 35. In the plains of Moab by the Yarden, across from Jericho, Adonai said to Moshe, "Order the people of Israel to give to the Levi'im cities to live in, from the heritage they will possess. And you are also to give the Levi'im some of the open land surrounding the cities. They are to have the cities to live in, while their open land will be for their livestock, for growing crops, and for all their animals. The open land around the cities you give to the Levi'im is to commence at a line drawn around the city wall, 1,500 feet outside it, and is to extend outward from there. Measure 3,000 feet outward from the city wall to the east, south, west, and north, with the city in the center. The space between the 1,500-foot line and the 3,000-foot line will be their open land around the cities. The cities you give to the Levi'im are to be the 6 cities of refuge to which you permit the person who kills someone to flee to, plus an additional 42 cities. Thus you will give the Levi'im 48 cities with their surrounding open land. As to the cities you will give, from those the people of Israel possess. From the many you will take many, and from the few you will take few. Each tribe will contribute from its cities to the Levi'im in accordance with the tribe of its inheritance. Adonai said to Moshe, "Tell the people of Israel, when you cross the Yarden into the land of Canaan, you are to designate for yourselves cities that will be cities of refuge for you, to which anyone who kills someone by mistake can flee. These cities are to be a refuge for you from the dead person's next of kin, who might otherwise avenge his kinsman's death by slaying the killer prior to his standing trial before the community. In regard to the cities you are to give, there are to be 6 cities of refuge for you. You are to give 3 cities east of the Yarden and 3 cities in the land of Canaan. They will be cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as a refuge for the people of Israel, as well as for the foreigner and resident alien with them, so that anyone who kills someone by mistake may flee there. However, if he hits him with an iron implement and thus causes his death, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a stone in his hand big enough to kill someone and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a wood utensil in his hand capable of killing someone and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. The next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death himself. Upon meeting him, he is to put him to death. Likewise, if he shoves him out of hatred, or intentionally throws something at him, causing his death, or out of hostility strikes him with his hand so that he dies, then the one who struck him must be put to death. He is a murderer. And the next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death upon meeting him. But suppose he shoves him suddenly, but without hostility, or he throws something at him unintentionally, or without seeing him, being his enemy or seeking to harm him. He throws a stone large enough to cause death, and the person dies. Then the community is to judge between the one who struck him and the next of kin avenger, in accordance with these rules. And the community is to save the killer from the next of kin avenger. The community is to return him to the city of refuge to which he fled, and he is to live there until the Kohen Hagadol, who was anointed with the holy oil, dies. But if the killer ever goes beyond the limits of the city of refuge he fled to, and the next of kin avenger finds him outside the limits of his city of refuge, and the avenger kills the killer, he will not be guilty of the man's blood, because he must stay in his city of refuge until the death of the Kohen Hagadol. But after the death of the Kohen Hagadol, the killer may return to the land he owns. These things shall constitute your standard for judgment through all your generations, wherever you live. If anyone kills someone, the murderer is to be put to death upon the testimony of witnesses. But the testimony of only one witness will not suffice to cause a person to be put to death. Also, you are not to accept a ransom in lieu of the life of a murderer condemned to death. Rather, he must be put to death. Likewise, you are not to accept for someone who has fled to his city of refuge a ransom that would allow him to return to his land before the death of the Kohen. In this way you will not defile the land in which you are living. For blood defiles the land, and in this land no atonement can be made for the blood shed in it, except the blood of him who shed it. No, you are not to defile the land in which you live, and in which I live, for I, Adonai, live among the people of Israel. Numbers, chapter 36. The leaders of the clans of the family of the descendants of Gilad, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the descendants of Joseph, approached and addressed Moshe and the leaders, the heads of the clans of the people of Israel. They said, Adonai ordered my Lord to give by lot the land to be inherited by the people of Israel, and my Lord was ordered by Adonai to give the inheritance of our kinsman Zelophehad to his daughters. But if they get married to anyone belonging to another of the tribes of the people of Israel, then their inheritance will be taken away from the inheritance of our ancestors, and be added to the inheritance of the tribe they will then belong to. Thus it will be taken away from the sum total of our inheritance. And when the Yovel of the people of Israel comes, their inheritance will be added to the land possessed by the tribe they will then belong to, and be subtracted from the inheritance belonging to the tribe of our ancestors. Moshe gave this order to the people of Israel in keeping with the word of Adonai. The tribe of the descendants of Joseph is right in what it says. Here is what Adonai has ordered concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them be married to whomever they think best, but they must marry only into a family from their father's tribe. In this way, no inheritance of the people of Israel will move from one tribe to another, for each of the people of Israel is to hold onto the land for inheritance belonging to his father's tribe. Every daughter who possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the people of Israel is to become the wife of someone from the family of her father's tribe, so that every one of the people of Israel will stay in possession of his ancestors' inheritance. Thus no inheritance will move from one tribe to another, for each of the tribes of the people of Israel will hold on to its own inheritance. The daughters of Zelophehad did as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Machlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah all got married to sons of their father's brothers. They were married into the families of the descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's family. These are the mitzvot and rulings which Adonai gave through Moshe to the people of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Yarden, across from Jericho. Hazak, Hazak, Vani Chazek, be strong, and let us be strengthened.